High definition news for Friday, October 21st, 2016. I'm Jeff Kaufman.
I will totally accept the results of this great and historic presidential election if I win.
Donald Trump in Ohio yesterday, still refusing to unconditionally promise to respect the outcome of the election that is now just 17 days away. He did say for the first time that if the results were clear, he would not dispute them. But
I would also reserve my right to contest or file a legal challenge in the case of a questionable result.
The reason he was campaigning in Ohio yesterday, and Hillary Clinton is there today, is that no candidate has won the presidency without winning Ohio since JFK. Polls show the race in Ohio is neck and neck. National polls continue to track Clinton with a lead of anywhere from 1 to 9 points over Trump. Trump told that crowd in Ohio, bottom line, we're going to win. But in North Carolina this morning, he sounded like he had begun to at least consider the other possibility.
We're going to do this for another 19 days. Right up until the actual vote of November 8th. And then I don't know what kind of shape I'm in, but I'll be happy, and at least I will have known. Win, lose, or draw, and I'm almost sure if the people come out, we're going to win.
And it is 17 days, not, as Trump said, 19. The issue of turnout is crucial for Trump and Republicans. His campaign is worried that some supporters, seeing the recent polls, might decide Trump is destined to lose and decide it's not worth it to vote. That could turn prediction into reality for Trump, and it could be disastrous for other Republican candidates on the ballot. There's some of that same fear on the Democratic side, that some Clinton supporters, thinking she's a shoo-in, might not bother to vote. That would theoretically hurt Democratic down-ballot candidates more than it would hurt Clinton. So here she is this afternoon in Cleveland.
Whether or not you support me or you support my opponent, together we must support American democracy and the country that has given every one of us so many opportunities. And the best way to do that, my friends, is to turn out and vote.
There has been very little humor in this campaign, especially lately. But the candidates gave it a try last night with mixed results.
Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me." And I very politely replied, "Let me talk to you about that after I get into office."
Donald, after listening to your speech, I will also enjoy listening to Mike Pence deny that you ever gave it.
The occasion was the annual Al Smith dinner. It's kind of a New York version of the White House Correspondents Association dinner. This was the 71st Al Smith Memorial Dinner, held in honor of the politician nicknamed the Happy Warrior. He was governor of New York and the first Catholic candidate for president. He lost to Herbert Hoover in 1928. The dinner is sponsored by the Archdiocese of New York to raise money for Catholic charities. In 1960, another Catholic candidate, JFK, appeared with his opponent, Richard Nixon. Since then, it has been tradition for the two candidates for president to suspend for an evening whatever nastiness exists and, at the Al Smith, make their final appearance together before the polls open. They tell a few jokes, mostly self-deprecating. So there they were last night at the Waldorf Astoria, one seat apart, with the Archbishop of New York, Cardinal Dolan, between them. Trump went first and delivered what most agree was the best line of the night.
Michelle Obama gives a speech, and everyone loves it. It's fantastic. They think she's absolutely great. My wife, Melania, gives the exact same speech. And people get on her case.
But when Trump changed his tone, he lost the room and even got booed.
Hillary believes that it's vital to deceive the people by having one public policy and a totally different policy in private. That's okay. I don't know who they're angry at, Hillary, you're right. Here she is tonight, in public, pretending not to hate Catholics.
Clinton also earned a few boos, though not as many as Trump.
People look at the Statue of Liberty and they see a proud symbol of our history. Donald looks at the Statue of Liberty and sees a 4. Maybe a 5 if she loses the torch and tablet and changes her hair.
And she did make fun of herself.
This is such a special event that I took a break from my rigorous nap schedule to be here.
At the end of the evening, Clinton and Trump did something they did not do at the final debate. They shook hands, but they did it with Cardinal Dolan still between them. You have only 3 days left to register if you want to vote in the November 8th election. The deadline is Monday. There are how-tos at highdefinitionnews.com. That's hidefinitionnews.com, and on the Mornings on the Beach Facebook page. Here's some ketchup for your Friday snackin'. This is some of what might have got past you in the past 24 hours.
This is London.
Direct from Paris.
This is Radio Moscow.
Radio Berlin.
Radio Habana, Cuba.
This is London.
From High Definition News World Service. The battle for the Iraqi city of Mosul has intensified and has led to the death of an American GI. The Pentagon has not released a name or any details. The GI is the first American casualty of this campaign to retake Mosul, which is the last major city that the group Islamic State holds. Kurdish Peshmerga fighters are moving toward Mosul from the north. Iraqi army troops are approaching from the south. The campaign has been underway for 4 days now. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees reports that Islamic State fighters are using civilians as human shields in Mosul. Meantime, about 100 miles to the southeast, Islamic State guerrillas launched an attack on the city of Kirkuk to try to draw the Iraqi army away from Mosul. The Philippines has been in a relationship of one type or another with the U.S. since 1898, except during World War II when the Japanese occupied it. First as an American colony, and then since 1946 and Philippine independence, the Philippines has been a close military ally and trading partner of the U.S. But since becoming president in June, Rodrigo Duterte has attacked both the U.S. and President Obama. During a news conference, Duterte called President Obama a son of a bitch and said he should go to hell. That after Washington criticized Duterte's campaign against drug dealers, which has taken the form of vigilantes murdering anybody suspected of a drug connection, dealers and addicts, without a trial or even much in the way of evidence. The death toll is over 3,000. During a visit to Beijing yesterday, Duterte surprised diplomats by announcing the Philippines was separating from the U.S. He said his country would strengthen its ties with China and after that, Russia. Today, back home in Manila, there was one of those what President Duterte meant to say moments, and it came from Duterte himself. He said the Philippines would not sever ties with the U.S., only pursue a more balanced relationship with Washington. The White House said today, in effect, we're going to need more information to figure out what this guy is all about. Despite the rain that Southern California got this week, we are still in year 5 of a drought, thanks to the flameout this spring of El Nino. But here we are, headed for winter. That's got to be a good sign, right? No. How come? La Nina. The Weather Service says La Nina is El Nino's opposite. It's a cooling of the central Pacific Ocean and affects weather all across the globe. The Weather Service's Climate Prediction Center says La Nina will bring a warm and dry winter to California. That's why water boards across the state have been talking up conservation and warning of water restrictions in the past couple of weeks. By the way, La Nina looks to make things colder and wetter than normal in the northern part of the country. One of the promises of the internet was supposed to be a reduction in the power of big media to control the content and the conversation. It was called the democratization of media. But before this weekend is over, big media could get a lot more powerful. Here's an ultra-high-definition scan. Back in the BI era, that's before internet, kids, annual surveys consistently showed that we Americans hated the phone company more than any other business. That was fuel for comedians. Here's a legendary Lily Tomlin bit from SNL in 1976.
Here at the phone company, we handle 84 billion calls a year. So we realize that every so often you can't get an operator. For no apparent reason, your phone goes out of order. Perhaps you've been charged for a call you didn't make. We don't care. So the next time you complain about your phone service, why don't you try using 2 Dixie cups with a string? We don't care. We don't have to. We're the phone company.
A few years later, those same surveys discovered that we hated the cable company more than we hated any other business. Viral videos were not far behind.
We're your local high-speed internet and cable provider. Are you looking for a fast, reliable internet connection? With 24/7 access to the best customer support technicians, all at a fair price? Fuck you. You'll take what we give you. Our barely trained technicians will come to install your services somewhere between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Knock once while you're in the shower and promptly leave. Your local high-speed internet and cable provider. You won't like it, and there's no other option.
In 2016, the phone company is also the cable company.
Check out this and other entertainment perks at att.com/ATT-thanks.
Now AT&T wants to get even bigger, and not with hardware like phone lines, cell towers, and satellites, but with software like entertainment programming. The Wall Street Journal reports that AT&T is pretty far along in negotiations to buy Time Warner. The Journal predicts a handshake and an announcement as early as this weekend. Time Warner is the world's third biggest entertainment conglomerate behind Comcast and Disney. It produces news, sports, and entertainment under some of the world's best-known brand names: Warner Brothers, HBO, CNN, Turner Broadcasting, DC Comics. It makes movies, TV shows like Westworld, The Big Bang Theory, Conan, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, The Bachelor, TMZ, and Extra, and operates websites like Bleacher Report, The Smoking Gun, and sites for the NBA, the PGA, and the NCAA. Time Warner no longer owns Time or its sister magazines, Sports Illustrated, People, and Entertainment Weekly, or Time Warner Cable, which is now a part of Charter. On the stock market, Time Warner is worth about $65 billion. AT&T is worth about $238 billion, but growth in its mobile phone business is starting to flatten out. That's why it bought DirecTV last year. AT&T believes it can make up for the slowing down of its pipeline business by selling movies and TV shows that it would pump through those pipes, even the wireless ones. But this strategy has been tried before. In the late 1980s, Sony bought Columbia Records from CBS and Columbia Pictures from Coca-Cola, so it would have music and movies to sell along with Sony audio and video hardware. The companies now known as Sony Music and Sony Pictures have had their ups and downs in the past 27 years, but even Sony admits they never were much help in selling Sony TVs. The video game industry has borrowed a lot from TV and the movies: storytelling, big stars, and sex. Now another aspect of showbiz has come to game biz: an actor strike. SAG-AFTRA members are picketing today at the Playa Vista headquarters of game maker Electronic Arts. Other companies affected by the strike: Activision Blizzard, Take-Two, Disney, and Warner's. It's the first ever strike against the gaming industry. The union called it early this morning after the two sides hit a wall in bargaining. SAG-AFTRA wants actors to start getting payments based on game sales, kind of like the residuals actors and directors get from movies and TV shows. It's the first actor strike since 2000, when SAG and AFTRA struck the commercials industry for 6 months, and it's the first strike since SAG and AFTRA merged in 2012. Finally, some election results even before Election Day, and the reaction from the losing candidates was unanimous. They crowned 2017's Queen of the Tournament of Roses yesterday in Pasadena. She is 17-year-old Victoria Castellanos, a senior at Temple City High School, and that city's first Rose Queen in 42 years. She will be the 99th Rose Queen, chosen from 770 young women who applied.
I still can't believe it. I'm amazed and honored, greatly honored, but it feels very magical.
The Rose Queen's job is definitely front-loaded. Her most important tasks happen on the first day of her reign. She presides over the Rose Parade and the Rose Bowl, which both happen on January 2nd next year because the first falls on a Sunday and, well, Pasadena. By the way, we were just joking a minute ago when we talked about the losing candidates. The 6 other members of the Tournament of Roses Royal Court will reign as Rose Princesses. The parade's theme is Echoes of Success. The Grand Marshal is documentary maker Ken Burns. Now you know what we know. I'm Jeff Kaufman, High Definition News.